I've never really believed in true evil. At least not until that night in the cabin. The night we found the book. Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead.
Some people are hooked on Chuck Norris. They think he can't be hurt, killed, or looked at without getting a roundhouse kick. That Chuck Norris is a god among men. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's a lie. God is, in fact, Bruce Campbell! Bruce Campbell once put an entire pack of saltines in his mouth, and then he whistled the Star-Spangled Banner, because Chuck Norris swore it couldn't be done. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because we're going to review his greatest achievement. His video game, Evil Dead. Regeneration. The game begins with Ash giving exposition on the events of the infamous cabin, and you start off fighting Deadites. The game plainly explains how to play without interfering, making this one of the best tutorial levels ever. So, after you fought off Pee-wee's Hell House, you suddenly become Evil Ash, a useful and yet useless power mode. What I mean is, while it does make you stronger, thus killing Deadites is quicker, you don't really need it because no part of the game is so hard that it requires that extra boost in power. For instance, I only used it once the first time I played it, and that was just for shits and giggles. After which we find Ash is in an insane asylum. Thus, Army of Darkness's canonicity is thrown out. However, the story does seem to combine both Evil Dead 1 and 2, as the cabin scene was clearly from Evil Dead 2, but Ash is committed for the murders of his friends, which was Evil Dead 1. But of course, Evil Dead 2 isn't a canon sequel, rather more of a reimagining, but anyway. Ash's shrink, Dr. Reinhardt, has apparently been using the Necronomicon to perform experiments on patients at the asylum. As he recants from the book this time, he messes something up, and evil begins spreading through the asylum and taking over patients, guards, nurses, and anyone not Ash. Did you know Bruce Campbell has 2 Y chromosomes? Because he's that manly. Bruce Campbell. Once you arrive where Dr. Reinhardt was performing his experiments, Professor Nobi tells you what's been happening and what you need to do.
Reinhardt has used the Necronomicon to open a series of portals, each one allowing evil to spread through the world, corrupting all in its path. You must stop him.
Look, Nobes, let's get this straight. All I must do is get the hell out of here.
As well as save your lawyer, Sally.
Sally? My lawyer? What's she got to do with this?
Reinhardt needs my diary to complete his work, and he sent his evil minions to pursue her.
Damn, I mean, I know she's a lawyer, but she doesn't deserve that. I mean, sure, she's a little uptight and square, but I think there's something freaky-deaky going on there, too, you know what I'm saying?
Here you are also introduced to Sam, a half-Deadeye created from Dr. Reinhardt's experiments. Sam becomes your sidekick.
Smell the fresh air! Ah!
A sidekick that's actually useful. Sam attacks enemies on his own, and you can kick him to attack a certain enemy, to open certain paths, or just for the hell of it.
Does that amuse you?
You can also possess him to get to places you couldn't get to otherwise. And unlike most games with a sidekick, if Sam dies, you're not penalized in any way, because he just comes right back.
If I go puppet master on Bacon Bit here, will I be able to shut his stinking pie hole?
Now, no matter how cheesy fun the story is, or how great the one-liners from Ash and Sam are,
So what were you in a loony bin for anyways? Mania? Dementia? ADD? I was in for ADD. Did you say something?
if the game doesn't control well, then it won't be fun to play. Thankfully, the controls are perfect. The best part is the camera work. This, of course, is usually a major problem with 3D third-person games, as the camera can be very unruly. However, in Regeneration, you have almost complete control of the camera angle at all times. I say almost because there are certain parts where the camera becomes fixed. Here, for example. But it rarely ever happens, and when it does, it doesn't hamper the gameplay in any way. As for the button layout, it's simple and straightforward. Jump, lock on, chainsaw, boomstick. What more do you need? Combat is kin to Devil May Cry. Once the Deadites begin glowing green, you can perform special finishers.
See you in hell.
Throughout the game, you'll come across floating pieces of the Necronomicon. These unlock bonus features, which include concept art and behind-the-scenes interviews with Bruce Campbell. You know, every time Bruce Campbell blinks, somebody dies from a flying chainsaw that appears from nowhere.
Bruce Campbell.
One of the main problems with this game, however, is the repetition. Now, I'm not talking about the combat, because that's always fun. The repetition is with certain levels, specifically with peepers. Peepers blocks your way. In order to pass by him, you have to feed him 3 souls scattered in 3 far-off locations by putting the souls into Sam and protecting him until you get to Peepers, kill all the Deadites attacking you, and kicking Sam into Peepers 1 soul at a time. Doing this once was enough, but guess what? You end up doing it not twice, but 4 times. Was that really necessary? It really doesn't get more tedious than having to take items from one place and place them in another over and over again. That being said, this is still a fun game. Killing Deadites is always a blast. Adding to that blast are weapon upgrades. When you're in the asylum, you're stuck with just a pistol.
Let's see if these freaks are still allergic to lead.
Not too long though, you find your clothes, chainsaw, and boomstick.
Yeah, baby. Sing for the king.
But later, you also get a rocket launcher,
Ouch!
Now that's a boomstick.
flamethrower,
Ooh, that looks deadly.
grappling hook,
Oh, sorry. Slipped.
and more powerful chainsaw.
Just like the one in my dreams. Where have you been all my life? Ooh.
Switching between these weapons is done on the fly with the black and white buttons. Thus, you can pull off unique combos. Bruce Campbell once beat himself to death with his own skull. And survived!
Bruce Campbell.
Any Evil Dead or Bruce Campbell fan should definitely check this game out. It feels like a fourth movie. It's really fun to play, and the dialogue between Sam and Ash is hilarious.
Nice mug. Any relation?
Why do you gotta keep busting my balls?
Being that it was only $20 when it first came out, you should be able to find it at that price or cheaper.
What was that? You can't believe you just got your ass kicked by a one-handed nut job? What? Oh, you think I'm your daddy? Listen up, Shake and Bake. I eat evil for breakfast and danger for dinner, so spread the word. Ash is back in business.